never tired of loving with nobody to love. Sorry, boundaries. That's really what it made me think.
Welcome back to another episode of Toxic Wine. I am your host, Marley.
I'm Kamaya.
And I'm a fool named Tamara.
So how's everyone's holiday season going?
I'm all diving in like.
I already had to see it.
And how's everyone's holiday season going?
It's been
Stressful.
Stressful.
fun,
Fun.
aggressive.
For who?
Aggressive.
You're
Like-
aggressive year round.
Well, but you know, like that adrenaline that you feel is the end of the year. Everything's popping. Like, oh my god. That's what I feel right now. So I don't know if that's fun or I don't know if that's fear being ran by adrenaline. A little bit of both.
Oh.
Okay.
I think I'm okay.
Okay.
I think I'm okay.
Okay.
Well, I have a nephew who's born literally a week before Christmas, and
He's been
You know,
stressing me for gifts.
since he was little, I've always done the 2 gift thing. So
Okay.
I do one thing he wants and one thing he needs.
Oh, you are so
Oh.
Yeah, so you're not gonna run me.
But it is. But it's cool.
Right. But so it's a little stressful.
Okay.
cute. I have a little brother born on Christmas Day.
Oh,
Yeah, my uncle is a Christmas baby too.
And I have a beautiful little cousin born on the 22nd. Right before Christmas. So
so you feel the pain. You feel it. Are you stressed? How
No.
are you feeling?
Maxed out.
maxed out.
Like
Like credit cards.
you know what I'm saying?
It's the
Like,
holiday season.
It's the holiday
happy
season.
holidays.
I'm not. Listen, let me tell you, someone is knocking on my pelvis.
Yeah.
She
Yes,
is ready
she
for
is.
departure.
She is ready. She is
She's
is
in there
baking
like,
and shaking.
But I'm hanging
She
in
in there
there.
talking about all that.
Um,
To move.
I cannot.
She in there like this, looking like little Kim.
Ah, shit. Here you go again. But no.
Oh my god.
So,
Please.
Mhm.
Wait, before Kamaya goes, I just want to say she had such a pretty baby shower. It
All
was
right,
so
and
beautiful.
on that
It
note,
was
I just
so
want to talk
nice.
about
It
what
was
we
so
are going to talk about today.
Okay, sorry.
So Kamaya's driving the boat.
Well, I'm not
She's gonna
driving the
make us
boat.
work.
I'm not
Right,
driving
she's
the boat
probably trying to be
because
like emotional.
I'm not.
Well, no, that's
Emotional.
me.
I know, but like sometimes y'all be.
Yeah.
Are you done?
Mm.
I am not driving the boat because I can't swim, so we won't be getting on the boat today. We will be walking. We're going to go
Like a stroll.
We are going to take a stroll down something I like to call boundaries.
Lane.
Boundary lane.
Okay.
Now, I'm going to make this episode fun,
Mhm.
and I want to ask you, what are some workplace boundaries you have set up?
Oh, you're just gonna dive right now.
Dive right into it. What are some, and I'm going to start with you, Miss Tam Tam, Tamara. Workplace boundaries. Boundaries in the workplace. Name 3. Ooh,
What?
shaking the table.
Workplace boundaries.
Name 3. 3
I
hard
don't.
boundaries.
I don't allow anyone to touch my hair.
Okay.
I don't allow. Honestly, it's kind of hard because I work in a small work
It
space.
doesn't
You know what I
matter
mean? So I don't
boundaries.
really like. I guess I don't know. No one can touch my hair. I don't know. Like I really don't have any because
Remember that. Just
the hair though.
okay.
The hair, though.
Hold on
What
to
are
that.
your- what are your
So
boundaries?
add that.
Wait. Okay.
No,
I
pause.
don't talk about-
That's it. You're done.
Oh.
Go ahead. Your 3 boundaries.
That one.
Mm-hmm.
Don't touch my hair because I switch it up a lot.
Okay.
Space.
Personal space.
Personal space is so true and dear to me. I don't care in which setting because I work in a very open space.
Yeah.
So people have a lot of access to me. I don't know if it's like anxiety, but I don't like people standing behind me.
Yeah.
I don't like.
I
You
guess
can't be
I've
too
never,
close.
I've never dealt like.
And number 3, honestly, is us talking about our like intimate lives. For me,
So you don't like
I don't like
personal
it.
space, personal life, and hair. You
Just
don't like people touching your hair.
Just don't.
Hair, politics.
Pause. Hold it. My boundaries.
No, I'm just kidding.
My boundaries at work. personal space is a hard boundary. Is a hard boundary.
She's turned to the camera. Like, I want you to know.
Personal space is a hard boundary. Hair is a boundary. Finances. I do not discuss.
Yeah.
I do not discuss
totally.
certain. I don't discuss finances at work. Now, the reason why I asked you, what are your boundaries at work? Because we as people set boundaries that we don't know about in our day-to-day lives. Think about all the bullshit you just not putting at work. And then there are some things we need to have a boundary on that we don't. Like, you see, I asked you, what are your boundaries? And you automatically knew no one touches my hair. Mm-hmm. You automatically knew I'm not talking about politics or my personal life. And we don't like people in our personal space. But
intimate lives. Like, I get people will talk about their personal lives, but the intimate
No, I get what you mean. No, that's why we gotta say personal life.
Sex life?
Yes.
Oh, see, I think personal as a whole all around.
See, I feel like we'll always get, acquainted somehow discussing our personal lives before they're
I think
more
it's
than
about your
home.
experience.
But you also got to think about it too. You don't share that with everyone in your office.
No, but like if you work in a small intimate space like Tamara does, like we know each other.
Does everyone?
Well, no, of course not. Of course not. I get what you're saying.
So there's personal life, and then there's life you choose to share.
Okay.
That's true. 'Cause
Think about it.
I'm like, well, my current coworkers don't know that I was like one to dance hall queen, so there's that. But like, but my old coworkers, they definitely know. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've crossed many boundaries in the workspace, so I guess I'm like, but not in like bad way.
But that's the thing. It all depends on what your comfortability is, because
that's very true.
Right.
In my workspace, I had a few people at my baby shower from my job. Amazing people. Not anyone.
Yeah.
I had amazing people from my job and my baby shower, but these are people. These are people that before pregnancy that I've gotten drunk with. That we've eaten chicken wings together with.
No, that's total matrimony right there.
Yes, and so there are certain boundaries you got.
People that I can laugh and cry with.
Yes, but I want to talk about those boundaries that we forget to set, not only in our work life, in our regular life. And think about it. There are certain things you put up with at work. For instance, I have a friend who had a very emotional 2 weeks at work. And
how's your friend?
And my friend realized that, maybe she was too emotionally invested in someone else's well-being.
Oh, wow.
And that right there was a boundary right there for me. Because if you don't care about your well-being, I have to boundary. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to indulge and dissolve in it, right? And this is not anything wrong for my friend, because this is her nature. She's a caring person and she wants to see love and light in everybody. But I feel like I feel like that person that she was caring for knew that they could mosey around on people in the office. So they pulled certain strings and did certain things because they knew other people would care for them. And my friend is a caring person. So when she realized the shit, she was like, well, I ain't with this bullshit. And that boundary went up. And she said that. She was like, I will no longer.
But I think do you think that's our boundaries created in a moment? Because
and that's a good question.
I think that circumstances will go for your friend, for example. I think circumstances can happen that make you realize, oh wow, that was not a boundary for me, but maybe now
it should be a boundary.
Yeah. I think that can happen, and it can be in a moment because it could be real time. You know what?
And you don't think about it because it's something you're so used to doing.
Exactly,
I really think she is just a nurturer at heart. She be trying to fight it, she's not. But when you listen to her talk about this situation, I'm like, you're a nurturer at heart, so you just want to see the good in people. And then when you realize the asshole in everyone, you're like, oh, fuck this shit.
Yeah.
A personal boundary I did not know that I had. I really hate.
Do I need to drink for you? That sigh was
go ahead, hate.
Damn near lift the card off the table.
I emphasize on personal space. And I emphasize on personal space a lot because I really feel like a lot of people do not realize how uncomfortable you can make they're like that. People don't realize how much you can make somebody uncomfortable when you enter their personal space. And even with people I'm cool with, I don't want in that area. So imagine they do it on the train. Oh, they do it on the train. They do it in the office. Like, I had a woman walk into my cubicle and touch my earring. Like, oh, this looks... No, bitch.
You know how I feel about that, ma'am. And you do it just every time.
We not cool. Like, come on, sis. We not friends.
I'm sorry.
And even if we were, I still need that warning.
I heard you. I'm just having a hard time.
Yeah. Or, I also have, like...
Oh.
So where do you...
She said, that's a nice setup.
So my next question would be, when do you draw the lines? Like,
when you're fucking fed up.
But how long does it take you to get fed up? Because you said you don't like intimacy talk at work.
I don't.
Why don't you like intimacy talk at work?
Because it's not for the workplace.
Now, what if you got a coworker that you was really, really cool with?
Bitch, tell me on lunch. Like, I really don't want to do this right now.
See, she tripping. I'd be in my office and I'd be like, bitch, you know
because
what sex tape I watched the other day?
But I guess that goes
1 minute and 30 seconds, like.
And from that, a boundary with America.
I just don't want to hear it. Like, because I'm not discussing it.
Oh, you don't discuss it?
I'll discuss it with my girls, but I'm not discussing that shit in the workplace. Like.
Okay, so you don't have a boundary necessarily. You have a boundary, like, with the workplace, like the environment and where we are.
Not just the people, but the actual.
If you're tight,
I don't give a fuck who you are.
So if I work with you, you wouldn't be talking about your sex?
No.
Oh, see, we can work together. Because I'd be like, tomorrow, sis, I'd be messaging
you. Would have probably heard it on the train right there. Like, girl, now I can't focus.
And that's the thing. Now we got to ask, do you set those boundaries? Like, I don't set those boundaries with everybody at my job. I only set it with... I have boundaries set at work for people that I do not consider myself to want to mingle with.
Okay, I like how you... I was wondering how he's going to get out of that. Like a little sticky mousetrap there. She said,
my God.
Like, I have two people at my job who I fucks with heavy.
Who fucks with
heavy?
Like,
and we'll fucks together.
And they are my friends. So I will invite them to functions. I will go to their functions, and we share our stories and stuff like that. Everybody else
gets Miss Gray Anderson.
No, they get Gray.
Wow.
That's it. Now, what about you?
So I have a 10-year friendship that has spawned out of a workplace. So like when it comes to like setting boundaries, or when I say like I really don't know what I know what my workplace boundaries are, but I've been fortunate to have like really good experiences where no one has burned me if I became like a super good friend with them and we were like tight. I have coworkers that I'm still like super tight with and we haven't worked with each other in years, you know, so like I have real bonds and friendships out of that. But I'm also not a person that like goes in to make friends. It really just ends up happening. Like it really just ends up happening. I don't be in there like,
and I see
hey girl, hey, like it really just be like I'd be really like stone faced killer, and then people be coming over and they're like, oh, and then you start a conversation, and, you know, whatever. But I think that like for me, I don't really have, if you and I are on that level when we're at work. To a degree, I'm similar in that nature. Like when we're at work, we're not really talking about like, you know what I'm saying, we go to lunch, obviously we'll dish. But at work, we're not getting into those, you know, but there are some people that really do let it all hang out in the workplace. And there are some people that
and that's why I said like it kind of depends on the day that I'm having, because
certain days you have the time to talk, certain days
right. And it depends on, you know, a lot of, you know, your workload.
Like
all
for me,
it's like,
so like
girl,
a situation happened. You know what a boundary is for me? Like, and well, kind of, because I grapple with it a lot. I had a situation where I referred someone to take a position that I was leaving from, and I thought that they were like,
was refer and not.
I thought that it was like a really good fit, and she really was. She was great, like she was really good, but she was a very emotionally driven person. So like, there are some people that can't separate like their current, like if they've had a bad night, it carries over into the day. They can go to work, and that's how they operate. I'm a person where if I had a bad night, and when it comes to work, I can't. First of all, I don't want nobody asking me like, "What's up?" or "What's going on." Like, I don't want to answer.
So you know how to separate. You know how to turn it off.
Yeah. So I literally like, and maybe that's a bad thing, but or maybe I should take a mental health day. You know what I'm saying? But like, I literally just be like, okay, check that at the door. I'm gonna leave that right there. I'm gonna come back for you though, because I'm really still pissed off. But good morning, and I just keep it pushing. But I had an instance where I referred someone to take a position. I was leaving a position. I thought she'd be good for it, so she filled it. She was there for half the year, and essentially, like it was a situation of like her emotions taking over, taking offense to like a joke that she didn't find funny, but like like I don't know. I mean I wasn't there for it, so I really don't know. I mean I feel like if it were me, I would have laughed, but I'm also a very like
easy going.
You know what I'm saying? Or not easy going, but I just don't care. Like I don't take things super nonchalant. Like okay, like you thought that was funny. I'll be like, huh, and then keep it pushing. Like I don't really care. And it resulted in like a clash of attitudes between her and the manager, and it got like and it got like really intense. And basically, to fast forward, she got let go. My manager called me in the office, and he was like, hey, listen, I want to like apologize that I had to let your friend go. And I said to him, listen, there's no friends in the workplace. At the end of the day, I understand, and that's her work ethic and all of those things. They are separated. Unfortunately, yes, we're friends, but if you had to let her go, that really has nothing to do with me. And I told her that, and she took it to heart. I mean, she took it as if, but my biggest thing was, I'm like, but that we're solid friends outside of the workplace. That, like, you laid in my bed, you've slept in my house, I've cooked meals for you, I've been to church, like the whole nine.
See,
so I don't understand.
I'm glad you brought that up.
I'm like, I don't understand how this got blurred, but she really took it to heart. Like, and honestly, we haven't spoken since, but I always she really took it to heart. And I was like because you and I are friends. So I said, honestly, what would you like me to do? You want me to go in there and be like, no, please don't fire my friend? There's really nothing I could have done. Like, it's not like they called me in there to speak against your. So it was just this weird thing. But that is a situation where I was like, okay, this boundary. I'm not saying that I won't put you on or tell you if I see things, but I'm very, very very, 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 very selective about who I may refer to.
So I'm glad you mentioned that and you brought that up.
Right. She's all absorbed. She said yes. Yes.
Because I mean, and this is where I learned to establish boundaries, because for a long time, especially because I moved to a new place, all of my friends were made essentially at work.
Mm-hmm.
And this is before I got career stuff like that. These are just like, regular ins and out jobs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And a lot of boundaries were not set.
Here and there.
Yeah. A lot of these boundaries weren't set for me. So work would cross into personal life. Mm-hmm. And I had an instant where I was a manager somewhere, and I got a friend a job, and she abused it. She would come in late because I was the opening manager. She would go in the back and talk on the phone. And she just did a lot of things because... And it's just the thing. Where do you set boundaries with your friends? Whether it be work, whether it be personal, what kind of boundaries do you set for your friends? Or do you set boundaries for your friends?
I think, I'm going to dive right in. I think for me this year, I learned to, not necessarily for my friends, but for myself, so that if anyone, because I had to learn that no one is an exception to your boundaries.
Say that one more time. Repeat it.
No one is an exception to your boundaries.
One,
and people be like, oh, not your child, not your mom, not your husband, not your best friend of 1,000 million years.
Nobody.
No one. Unless you are permitting that. And if you are permitting that, that's your choice. And that's, but when you get to a point about creating those boundaries, I definitely started to understand, like, okay, I have to create boundaries within like my time and who I spend it with, what I spend it on, and what I'm doing. I had to create those boundaries like for myself and who I spend it with, things like that really, really came like into play. And I feel like you lose them along the way and then you pick them back up. And I think now more than anything, I just feel like, okay, this is precedent and this has to stick. And it has to stay for myself so that I can continue to feel in this good vibration, continue to feel this good energy, and that I have enough air for myself, because I've kind of made a little a little fort, a little boundary fort.
You know?
I think for me, boundaries are set along the way for me because I like to let people be who they are around me. I don't want to.
You give the benefit.
Yeah, like I want you to be yourself. I want you to act how you act. If you're crazy and weird, be crazy and weird. But yeah, like if you're crazy and weird, be crazy and weird. But like, if it's something, yeah, both of them are crazy and weird. That's crazy. Never mind, you're weird. Crazy and weird, both of them.
I'm gonna say today is crazy.
Yeah,
I was attacked some weeks back and was told I was aggressive, and I just.
She is. Anyhow,
Neither here nor there.
I think
right? Boundary, name calling.
I think those things are set along the way because as we grow, our triggers are gonna change, and I think once you heal from something that you have to, like, if you have to set boundaries, like if you're one of those people who feel like now I have to do this because of that might have gotten in the way, because for me that's how it was.
Lessons learned.
Like you kind of like after giving people the benefit of the doubt, after doing certain things that I knew that would go against how I feel personally, after those things transpire, you're like, okay, well, no, this is a boundary for me. That's not going to happen again. So for me, it's a situational, like, as it comes kind of thing, because it's like, that may be cool for you, but chill out. Like, that doesn't work for me.
Shout out to my sister Ty, because, like, we'll literally be in the middle of a conversation with people, and she'll be like, boundaries.
Yeah, like,
yo, and
if someone's too close, like, please step back.
It's like, or like they'll get ready to speak on a topic, or they'll be like, or not like any topic, but they'll really be trying to give their little 2 cents, and she'll be like, boundaries.
And that's good because
boundaries.
And that's amazing because that's something I learned in like my ending years of my 20s. I set certain boundaries, and it's just like I do that. There are certain topics or there are certain things that happen and I don't indulge in.
Yeah. Right.
Like,
because you've grown, you're at a new point.
Sorry guys, there's a sneeze traveling, right?
Bless you.
Thank you.
I'm sure
it was coming.
I felt it. I was like,
so they got the number 1 meme.
Yes. You better just.
I don't know, but amen.
Go off.
But that's the thing. There are certain topics I don't talk about with people. Especially when it comes to friends and family, a lot of people like cross the line with certain things they talk about, and it's just certain things I'm like.
Or they just feel they have the right to.
Right.
And you have to remind them like, you don't. So.
Like you're doing. Was it Austin Powers? You're doing a lot of this,
and I need you to do this. Right. Or like one hard boundary I set with my friends, and it's just because I have a bunch of different groups of friends. I not the hugs that's personal space. That's everybody. That's an everybody boundary. But one boundary I have that I set with my friends.
I'm gonna ask that after this.
One boundary I have that I set with my friends is that I don't allow one friend to badmouth or talk about another person.
As you should.
And a lot of my friends, like I've had friends in the past be like, oh, but she was cool with me first before. It don't matter.
Yeah.
Right.
Because if you speak about her in this manner, if I do something that makes you mad, I don't know
you
who
speak
you
about me.
Right.
Not mad,
if you have
of
something to
course.
say to her, I want you to take it to her and say it. Because I am a person where I will tell Marley about Tamara. And if Tamara takes it back to Marley, and Marley comes to me and is like, you said it? Yes, I said it. And this is exactly how I said it. And she left this out. So let me tell you this. Not everyone is as cordial as me.
I really
Let
can
me
see
tell
her
you this.
being like, and are you done? Okay, so let me give you a transcript because I have.
Let me give you a journal so you can write. Let me give you a journal so you can write down how you feel about what was said. That's one boundary I have. It's just like the discussion of other. There are certain topics that if someone tells me, it stays with me. I tuck it in my back pocket, and it goes away. Like, you know what I mean? You don't just like.
Disclose all that information.
That's a boundary I have. And then I also have a boundary that I've learned from my same great friend who had the situation with the coworker at work. I can't allow myself to be the dumping ground for people anymore. So there were just certain things that I'm just like,
big one.
I don't have time for it today. Let me take a break.
And you know what? I'm glad you said that, because as we are acknowledging our own boundaries, I think we need to apply them. And
boundaries.
I think
Wine
we need
boundaries.
to apply them.
Ooh, I have a funny boundary.
Because
I bet it's the same one I was thinking of, but go ahead.
can I finish?
Go ahead, you finish.
Boundaries.
Sorry.
I feel like
I'm tired of
New
this.
dance.
I feel like the dumping ground thing, I think because we're in such a, mental health kind of stage, we need to be more respectful of other people's boundaries.
I don't think
by
we realize
asking,
we're doing it.
by asking, because I've come to terms with, if this is heavy for you, imagine dumping it out on someone who hasn't
What do you
been
mean?
there.
I will call tomorrow and be like, hey, listen.
Because now I'm stressed
I know
out.
I've given, and she'll tell you, I'll be like, listen, I know I just told you a lot, and I apologize because I didn't even ask you. And she was like, no, it's okay. I was like, no, it's not okay.
And I'm
realizing that with other
But I did
people.
tell her the reason why it was okay in that moment was because at some point, regardless of if our conversation ended up being good, and I tell people, when you are venting to me, when I'm speaking to you and I'm giving you back like my perspective of it, or maybe I'm trying to give like a grand scope from everybody's point of view, I'm also learning in real time, like, you know what, like that was a good lesson. Sometimes there really is a dump day and it's just like, yo, honestly, I really can't take your call right now. And honestly, if I feel that way, I just want to answer your call.
Right.
And most people be like, oh, but I'm like, well,
do that face again. Oh. She looked like a spoon of a story.
I'm done.
But I feel like
I haven't done a walk off in a while.
perhaps next episode, y'all. All for the thrill. That's what I was saying. All right, y'all. But no, I feel like sometimes when you just acknowledge and say, oh, you know what, my bad, yo, I called you and started just really going like, how are you doing? How's your day? I can appreciate that. I really can, because I find that I am the friend that gets vented to more than I do the venting. But that's no lie, that's kind of my personal choice. Not because I'm trying to keep people from things, but I'm just a person who does a lot of like, I'd rather do like introspective work. And it's not that I don't think that I would gain sight or foresight from other friends and opinions, because I do share things with my friends and they will give me their foresight, but there are some things that I feel like I don't need to share that need to work out on their own, and I don't need to like harbor over them, you know.
And
what
that
I
is
mean?
my problem. A lot, like, you know how many people be like, oh, I didn't know that about you. I don't know this about you. Because there are certain things that I just don't tell anybody.
Yeah.
And I am the vented that the venters come to. So when you find that one person that you can truly,
Like
because it's another thing too.
Buddy.
When you come to like, I journal a lot. That's how I normally get all my stuff out. Like I just write it down.
Yeah, my notes is crazy. I'll literally like write before I reply to certain people, or if I think I picked up a tone, or like
you have to write it out and read it back, right?
Whoa, wait a minute, like wait a minute.
And that's
you know that thing on online where it's like they start typing and then they'll erase it. That's me, because then I'm like, you know what, your tone's a little.
Yeah,
like, well, let's just try this
you
again.
just needed to see it all written out. Like, first of all, bitch, what you're not gonna do.
Right, and then you
email
scale it back a little.
I understand where you're coming from.
Right.
And
however,
I'm so used to just like tucking my problems in that I have somebody, and I had to sit back and think, because what she didn't realize, she was venting to me one day, and she was telling me how she was just tired of being the ear for some people. And I sat back and I was just like, well, damn, bitch, look at you overstepping your boundaries. I'm like, you ain't even asked this hoe if she wanted to hear all of this. Like,
ask her.
But sometimes that comes with, and that's the thing. Like, I won't say sometimes it comes with friendships, because maybe
it's
as
hard
a
to
person,
cut you off. It's hard to find someone who can look at someone like me who can look at a situation from both perspectives. Because if anyone ever comes to me with something, I don't look at it in a biased
I'm not jumping on your bandwagon because you're my friend. More than anything, I'm
I'd
gonna be like, well, I know you more than I know the other person.
Right. So I know you definitely probably did.
Right, and I know you probably did say that.
I look at everything.
Like, well, I didn't say with a tone. Yes, you did.
So it's just like I look at both sides of the coin, and I was just like, it's hard to find people like that, because a lot of people are yes men.
Yeah.
in a sense. And I'm not saying I have like in my life I don't have a bunch of yes men. The friends that I do have, that's what we are to each other. Like they're going to give it to me straight.
Yeah.
So it's just like so another boundary I have.
No, wait, I have a question.
Did I tell you were asking
Boundaries. Boundaries.
I want
Yo,
to try to
you saw her kick you off the boat. She took the wheel like, give me this.
She said it's
life jacket.
She said,
yeah, we knocking down.
That's why you got She
no,
said,
first of all, she ain't even have glasses this episode.
She said,
so I'm diving in all blind.
What's
no,
your question?
She
my question
is and whatnot.
Maybe that'd be a good question.
Right, since you're taking the show back. It was all softer with Kamaya.
Come on. It's a nice show, So.
No.
Boundary.
Come on, take it away.
Who? You know how you said you're not biased? Who is your venting ear? Like, what you said you journal a lot?
Mm-hmm.
Who's your venting ear? Get away from me.
I'm sorry, I just need to know where you was going with this question. I'm like,
I have
who
three.
Is your venting ear?
I have 3 venting ears.
Thank
3
you.
real venting ears.
And these are people who aren't like always on your side.
yeah.
Okay.
No, so this is the thing. I have my best friend who I go to. Well, 2 best friends and then Tamara. And I'm not going to call Tamara my best friend just yet. Because I might scare her away.
That's fair. I just scare easily. Oh, affection.
Oh.
And you said we haven't had a
That's
walk off in a while? And
But then I also tell people, if you're in my life at this stage, you ain't going nowhere. Like, that's it.
she
But
moved out like with a butcher knife.
I have
Cleaver, she's like, what
I
are you
have
doing?
my friend who she's in South Carolina, and when I talk to her and I
Yeah,
tell her,
hoes all over the world.
and when I talk to her, she's married.
What is that?
When I
Hoes
talk,
all over the world.
when I talk to her and I tell her a situation, she legit hits me with well, what happened? What brought this along?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And then I
Like,
have,
what's the origin? What's the backstory? Because you're telling me this immediate, reactive story.
Right.
What's the build-up? How did we get here?
And then I have Dorian, who has a way of, and like Dorian is like, when I think of best friends, when I think of people you need as friends, you need a Dorian. Because Dorian is not going to tell you you're wrong. She's going to be like, well, if it were me, I may not have gone that way. I may have not approached this situation like that. Sometimes not everyone is able. And then she doesn't come off of like,
Okay. Or
there was an instance where something happened earlier this year and it pissed me off. And it was like 3 weeks later and I brought it up. And she was like, well, honestly, if you're not mad at it anymore, and you're over the situation, you wouldn't be talking about it now.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh. And then, I tried to hit her with
Dorian
that.
said, shut up.
I tried to hit her with the, I'm not mad anymore. It's irritating me a little bit. She was like, well, if it's still causing you frustration, then maybe you should address it.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, bitch.
Bye, I need a yes man. Hello, Tam. What?
And then Tam,
Miley, hello.
and then Tam has been so easy because I am Tam and Tam is me. So when I need someone to really tell me, no, bitch, it's okay, be crazy.
You gonna tell me that?
Because
Let me explain
you still
why.
have a lot of growing to do, man.
So I can't be crazy?
No. You got to be crazy. Don't okay.
I was gonna say.
And I let that flourish. I was like, the hell does she do? You know what?
You have someone
This
like
friendship is gonna mature, but I'll wait. 'Cause she in the yard doing some wild shit.
because you have someone like me who's just very passive because I'm afraid to let the knives come out again. And she's like, no, pull out that knife, pull it back out.
Like, it's fine.
You're
It's
gonna
fine.
need it.
It's not the whole knife. It's more like a little. It's like a little Swiss Army knife.
What?
Swiss Army knife. No prison time. She over here.
Who do you vent to?
Who do you vent to, ma'am?
Oh man, I went to my. honestly, and in a funny way,
I do vent to him first.
The universe, for real, I really be having.
But I'm gonna be honest with you. I vent to God, and then I'd be like, you know what, God, what you just told me is too real. Let me go to somebody else.
Let me make sure.
Let me make sure
what you have said.
And then he gonna put the message in that person. I'm like, God, let me go to one more person.
I didn't like that.
Let me
it
write
wasn't delivered
I write
properly.
it down and I read back what I wrote, and I be like, God, like, listen, I get it, but I want one more.
Honestly, I would say my cousin, my two cousins, my best friend, and my boyfriend.
Oh.
But before,
Does he respond back?
Yeah. Honestly,
I have to give mine a shot.
See, the thing is, he's a man of little words. With them words, be very sharp and direct.
That's what pisses me off.
They're very sharp. They're very direct,
more.
And they're very on point. And you don't want to hear it, but then you be like,
yeah,
that's my Steven. That's my. He's very direct, and it'll be 5 words. You'd be like,
yo, the 5, like, the composed sentence that you needed to hear.
That one sentence
that nobody else could seem to like penetrate through your thick ass head.
Are you gonna see this person again? So why is it bothering you so much? You know what?
I didn't need you to. You know, I didn't need this.
The last time you lent her money, did she give it back to you?
That's
so why would you lend her money again?
Just in case y'all needed one more for the end of the decade. That's what it feels like. And it feels like, oh.
Yeah, like
no,
that could be like the last person I will. No, he's like.
I was gonna say, who's your mentees?
He's my first. He's either 1 or 2.
There's a few tiers.
Depends.
Because at the end of the day, I feel like your man can't get mad because it's like, yes, your man is your best friend, but I feel like everyone with, you know, deeply committed relationship or whatever, you may go to your man first. You probably going to your best friend first.
You'll go to your girl like, yo.
Realization. Let's hurry up and wrap this up. Go
I know
ahead,
what you just realized.
I just realized. Go ahead.
Damn.
Who's your mentee?
So my top.
Who's your right hand?
I'll give you my top 4. As of lately, my little brother, as crazy as it sounds, I've always gone to my little brother for advice. Like, if I need to, like, if I do something wrong,
babes, yo.
If I do something wrong, my little brother knows me. He's grown up in a house with me. He knows how I operate. I'll go to him and be like, yo, was I wrong in that situation? And he'll probably tell me yes. So I'll just go to Tam. She'll probably tell me the same thing, but a little lighter. But she knows I'm soft.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, if you have to, that's always how I start. Because I start the same way for me. If you have to ask me, am I wrong?
Then you're wrong.
Or you probably feel wrong.
Right.
And now you're looking for me to give you like a different. But I'm not. I'm just gonna relay out the situation and let you see it from fresh eyes.
But for me, I'm the type.
To me one time, and it didn't change nothing. They stole my umbrella.
And I said, but for me, I said, okay.
My role in it, because I have to, because I need you to understand what was going through. I'm a criminal justice major. I need you to understand what was going through my mind at the time, so I don't get convicted for this. All right.
All right, and on that note, I want to bring you guys to a revelation that I realized.
No,
when we started Talks with Wine.
Are you going to do this on air?
Yes.
Oh.
This is a cute little way.
Well,
you know, because the next time you see us.
Oh, God.
The next time you see us, it'll be our New Year's episode.
Fine.
Oh, Merry Christmas to you, host.
Happy Kwanzaa.
As Kwanzaa now.
And Hanukkah. All of it. So the next time you see us, it'll be our New Year's episode. And I just thought about it.
What you
Remember
think about
this bitch swore off men at the beginning of the year? And
she swear them off.
You swore?
No, I'm pretty confident.
You swore?
I did it.
Here is where we should insert the clip, like on some Fam Guy, like.
Oh, and now she got a home.
And that
Shantae's got a man at home.
First of all, guys, I know y'all watched the episode. I didn't swear off men.
Sorry that.
I was saying
Your man
men
is
trash.
On that note, guys, thank you for joining us.
She had him with all the colors of the hair. Bye.
Boundaries.
Thank you for joining us for another episode of Talks with Wine. I was your
Happy
conductor.
holidays.
She dropped a little bit.
My name is Kamaya.
We should have had hats and
I'm
stuff.
Marley.
Oh, bye, y'all. I'm Tam.
Have a good night, guys.
See y'all next week.